You know what, Gramps? You're a bullshit artist.
I'm the king of the world!
Hey there, friends and family. This is Dan. I'm here with the Dan and Adam Are Afraid podcast. It is August the 17th, 2025. It's a beautiful Sunday. It's finally not 120 degrees. We were discussing before the recording. It is a special episode 62. Let's hear it for episode 62. That's all we get. Joined here by my creepy, too old for this podcast. This is what I said on the kids episode. This is what I'm saying again. My co-host Adam.
Hey there, buddy. How are you doing? It's great to be back. It's been a long week. It's always a long week in between these records.
Yeah, I was telling Adam recently, like it's taken 60 episodes in about 2 years for me to actually enjoy doing this. So this is Dan enjoying doing this podcast, folks. So
Dan and Adam are full of joy. They're no longer afraid.
I want to be alive. We're joined here by a special guest. Hasn't been on in a little bit. Hasn't been on since Baby Invasion. It is, of course. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's MJ, the big boss.
It's good to be here. Thank you so much for having me again.
And lastly, but not least, we have a returning champion, Spaghetti. How are you doing, bud?
I'm doing all right. Glad to be back.
And this is
Love to have you back, Spaghetti.
This is a
Yeah, it's
sexy
been a long
lineup we
time.
got.
This is the like I should say right now immediately. We're living in harmony again. We're back. This is like the ultimate lineup for Harmony Korine discussion. Sadly, I don't know. Are we going to talk about Harmony Korine much on this episode? We'll see. How you guys doing? How's everyone doing?
Doing well. I'm doing really good.
Yeah, doing all right. Figuring out
Spaghetti.
how to work a microphone again. It's been a while since I've been on here, but we're rolling.
You haven't been on any kind of thing in a while? I know you're doing YouTube stuff for a while. No one's invited you on a YouTube show in a minute?
Hey, it's been a bit. I know the last time I was here, we were talking about it. I think it was the Oh God episode when we did number 2 and number 3.
Oh God, book 2.
Yeah. And then before that was it a year ago? Was like Julian Donkey Boy and Gummo and Kids?
Yeah, all that stuff was like a year ago. I think that was like August, exactly.
Yeah, and just in the meantime, I've just been dealing with other stuff and got situated in a new job and stuff like that. So a lot of this kind of energy has been on the back burner. So I'm glad I'm now able to sort of hop back into it.
You're still doing your Letterboxd reviews? Is that
yeah.
dropped off a lot?
I mean, I watch less movies per week, but I mean, by less movies, I'm still getting like 12 to 15 in. So I was cranking out like 20.
A month?
No, a week. So.
Oh my God.
Those are rookie numbers.
I struggle to watch
You get those numbers
rookie
up.
numbers.
No. That's impressive.
I struggle to get one movie in a week.
Yeah, same.
Just repetition. I'm just used to it. It's like, I don't know. For me, typing is sort of like how somebody goes jogging. You know, it's sort of like I have to do it. I have to write a little essay. Keeps my mind fresh.
That's awesome.
That's why we do the podcast.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would just I'd just be over here on the floor smearing yogurt on the walls.
Greek or normal?
I was thinking about that last night. I got some. They didn't have my normal Tillamook yogurt, and so I bought Yoplait for the first time. And I remember all those commercials be like, Yoplait. I don't know if that's how the commercials go, but I ate it and I was like, this is candy. This is so sweet. So probably not like I would prefer something a little less sweet.
What
Dan's not
maybe
eating
Greek
Danimals?
with fruit would be the
what flavors you over there rocking?
Go-Gurt.
You got Go-Gurt?
I had a cherry. I had a cherry and like a strawberry cheesecake one from Yoplait, which is like obviously like very candy flavors. But yeah, I was like, holy shit, this is so sweet.
I got the Walmart.
I looked down at it and it was like 18 grams of sugar or something.
I got that Walmart brand. It's got the fruit at the bottom. You know, you just stir it up, put a little granola in there. I mean, that's yourself a snack right there. That's some breakfast.
Yogurt's goated, fam.
If cultured dairy is the vibe, then yogurt is goated.
Full admitting here, I am a 40-year-old man that eats Go-Gurt, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I have three kids. I have 3 kids, and it's always accessible. And it's like, I got to eat Go-Gurt in 5 seconds and run out the door. And so I just grab a tube of like cotton candy, something made for an 8-year-old, and then I'm gone.
Cotton candy.
That's what the cherry flavor reminded me of. I was like, I've had a Go-Gurt flavor that tastes like this. Yeah. I don't know. It reminds me of a joke that like Ellen DeGeneres used to tell or something. She used to be like, when did yogurt when did yogurt become inconvenient? You need it in a tube?
Yeah.
That's some shit my mom would have laughed at. She'd be like, Dad, come in here and watch this. Ellen's so funny.
She's so relatable.
It's like, what kind of flavor of yogurt do you eat? SpongeBob SquarePants?
Well, it's probably a good flavor.
I eat the SpongeBob flavor, whatever that is.
SpongeBob.
Adults all around the country are eating Yoplait.
It's better than the Kung Fu Panda.
So speaking of SpongeBob, and this is like foreshadowing, there is a SpongeBob connection to Ken Park.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's right.
No, it looks like Dan knows.
My friend brought that up to me.
Oh, interesting.
I didn't know. I wouldn't have known. You would have been.
know.
This would have been the first time I was hearing this, and if my friend didn't tell me last night.
Yeah, SpongeBob and Harmony Korine has there's somebody there is a freak on the SpongeBob production team.
It's like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. It's like just a weird connection.
Yeah, that's for sure. Before we get into the movie, let's talk. I had one question pop up in my head, and I thought it was a really good question, and I want to hear an answer from everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen,
is $8 million worth dying over? This question came to me when I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5. You break into some kind of thing. You have to steal something. I think it's the Paleto Bay mission or the one where you rob the small town bank. And you get $8 million from it and you escape, and you got like these huge fucking Gatling guns you're shooting everything with as you leave and shit, and you get away. He's like, and the streamer I was watching play it said, oh, 8 million is worth dying over. This is worth dying over. And it made me think, is $8 million worth dying for? Adam, you're up first.
Dude, let's be real. Given my job, $8 million would be like, I mean, come on, that's like, yeah. I think maybe it is, you know, like, I'm sorry, but that would be some life-changing amount of money. But would I die? I mean, yeah, I got a job. I got free health care. So fuck.
I was thinking about it from two angles. Like, it's either you're the bank robber and you're trying to get away, or someone is trying to steal your $8 million.
Damn, yeah. No, I'm popping a cap on somebody if they're stealing my 8 mil.
You're shooting them in the leg?
Oh, I'm shooting them in the leg. I'm standing over them, giving them a final bad boss speech. Maybe wearing a white suit. I got $8 million. Like,
Adam is the character from what is that show called? I'm a Virgo. You're the rich guy who's like, I'm gonna kill you. What about you, MJ? $8 million worth dying over?
In the context of, just for clarification, in the context of doing this mission, like I would be robbing something on the run, and that's where the chance of death comes from.
Yeah, you're gonna get riddled with holes like I was gonna say Thelma and Louise, but that's not right at all.
Like Bonnie and Clyde, like the end of Bonnie and Clyde.
There you go.
Yeah, I probably not. I'm happy with what I got, and it's like that's just a risk that seems like a little too much. I mean, you're talking like I don't know what the price would be. I guess that's another question for another day. But I think for me, nah.
Oh, that was a trailer for the movie. Spaghetti, what about you? $8 million. Are you dying? Are you dying over $8 million?
Well, I've sort of died previously, so it's different fashion, but yes and no, which is not the answer you want. That's muddled and beating around the bush. I would say, weighing the consequences, if there's a fair shot at it, yeah, sure, take the risk. Now, do I think I could problematically rob a bank in successful fashion the way I am now? No. So I would know. I don't know. That's sort of a muddled answer.
What if someone's trying to steal your $8 billion?
Oh, I'm fighting. No matter what. So.
It's worth dying over?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
YOLO.
The white suit. You getting blood on the white suit. The white silk suit.
because then you're gonna live the rest of your life. I mean, are you gonna be paid back insurance wise? If you're the bank, you have an insurance policy on that money. But if it's not, and you're gonna just go the rest of your life thinking shoulda, woulda, coulda, you might as well put up a fight a little bit.
No, they put you on the they said you're on the Epstein list, and they're coming for all your money. Ooh. You have to escape like in the beach bum.
So just fight it out.
You gotta wear women's clothing for the rest of your life.
Yeah, we're fighting.
That's a good answer. I was curious.
Bonus points if you get it and then you put it on a yacht and blow it up. So you go to all that work. Blow it up. Beach bum style.
That's what I'd do. No, I don't know. $8 million is life-changing. If I was given the opportunity and there's a good enough chance, maybe, but only because I'm like young enough. I'm like, I could probably run if I really needed to for a long period of time and duck and climb, and not for much longer though. So,
man on the run. That's gotta be you.
Dan on the run. I'll still be recording the podcast though. Like, hey, calling in from unspecified location under the pier. Just cops swarm in. I get swatted while we're talking about a Minecraft movie. All right, let's discuss. We watched a movie this week, Ken Park, from 2002.
There's Claude, Peaches, Mike, Tate, and that's me on the end. We all live in a little town in California called Visalia.
Well, you know why your mother married me.
Why?
'Cause I got muscles. Put your pants up. Can't even walk around in those things. Look at you like that and I feel sick.
All he does all day is drink fucking beer. You don't got a job?
Fuck no, he got fired a couple months ago. One day I'm gonna fucking flip out, go insane. He'll get his fucking shit.
Pisses me off. You know, you can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family.
Hi, baby. Kurt is cold.
Yes, from Bible study. This is a word in inside kiss which we're about to receive.
Ow, not so tight. You're killing my circulation. Can't we do it normal?
No.
Jesus Christ, don't you ever fucking knock?
Make sure you take the fruit.
I don't want the fruit, I want you out of my room.
Hey, look, here's some kiwi.
How about this?
Your turn, Tate.
Good one. Whiplash.
Can I eat you out?
Not now. Folding. Lend a hand.
I invited Sean over tomorrow for lunch and the game.
Oh, great. You coming?
I don't know. Let me talk to my mom.
Okay, we'll leave an open invitation like always. Right there. Move with my hips. Come on.
Eat up there, Sean. Yeah. Put hair on your chest.
Oh my God.
Make a man out of it.
Someday the sun will shine just for me and you. Sean, have you ever read that book, Island of Paradise? It's about this island where the whole philosophy of the world is set up around having sex. It's supposed to be like the best society. Nobody ever fights. Everyone gets along. All they do is fuck all day long. Just fuck, fuck, fuck. That's all they ever do. It's supposed to be some utopia society or something.
Ken Park is a 2002 psychological teen film directed by Larry Clark and Ed Lachman. It is a second film we've watched on the podcast in the Badolescent series. You guys heard of that, Badolescents?
No.
Ran across the term last night. You'll notice that trailer was very long, and I may cut it up in post. I suspect that was a trailer for investors and distributors, because this never got distributed.
Yeah.
Let's start, I guess, with our Harmony Korine history. No, I'm just kidding. Spaghetti, have you seen Ken Park before?
You know, I went into this, I thought I did, and I think I've really only seen bits and pieces. I definitely know about it, and I've seen clips of it, especially the infamous, beginning scene and all that, and some of the scenes in between. But I don't think I formally have sat through it from beginning to end just because it's hard to get a hold of.
Indeed, it is hard to get a hold of. MJ, what about you?
So actually, similar to Spaghetti, I'm pretty sure I don't think I saw this cut of it though, like the actual cut. It must have been edited where some of the scenes were different. So at least in my recollection.
Interesting.
Unless it was. Yeah. Because my recollection is it was like I was still in college. It was like around the same time. I think me and my friends were watching like another Larry Clark movie from that time, Teenage Caveman, and that one was really wild too. So, but even it was like kind of watching it for the first time. There's been enough space between that. It's like a lifetime ago. So, for it's like those vague memories, like, oh, I don't remember this being it,
Yeah, and I'll apologize up front. I really did mean to watch the Caveman movie this morning. I just didn't. It didn't happen. I'm sorry. I should have watched it earlier. But
Yeah.
I spent my time on another rewatch of Ken Park.
I think that's probably better suited. And I don't know if I could
I'm
recommend.
very curious.
Recommend it to you. I'll throw it on just to see what I remember about it. I just remember being like really out there, and I think it was like we happened upon it late one night. We're like, what is this? Like it was on TV. It was weird.
I think I called it a WNUF commercial, and then I was like, then the kids from Ken Park start talking.
Yeah,
I'm curious. Probably if we ever do Bully, I'll throw that as just like a supplemental.
that would be a good idea, I think.
So Ken Park was written by Harmony Korine. Did you guys do much reading about what Harmony Korine has to say about Ken Park? Curious?
I mean, I read the sort of the method of him going into it, the backstory of why he wrote about it, but I didn't really read the afterthoughts of what he's saying current day.
I wish I had focused more on stuff he said, so I really just have the Wikipedia thing where he explained in 2005 during an interview. Ken Park was written right after Kids, before we had gotten the financing for Kids. Larry Clark realized I could write pretty well and that I understood a certain type of vernacular, the teenage vernacular. So he wrote down 5 things he wanted to see on a napkin in red ink. They were things that he wanted to see. 5 images he wanted to see. And with those images, he wanted me to construct a basic narrative, like a certain kind of narrative. I wasn't interested in telling the kind of elliptical narrative. I wanted to deconstruct some stories. At that point, it was written literally right after I wrote Kids. And I think the understanding is Clark used the script, but he rewrote the ending and did not give Korine any final say on anything. So he wasn't involved with the production. I think in 2002, Harmony was a bit busy with his own personal life. My understanding of the events are correct. He comes back in 2007.
Yeah.
Right. That's really, what's interesting is it known what were the 5 points on the napkin that he was trying to write around, or is that unknown?
Here's a great time for me to trigger this.
Movie Ken Park, it's close from Kids. How would you compare the two movies?
Well, it's a companion piece to Kids, really. I mean, when I made Kids, everybody said, "Where are the parents?" And I said, "Wait for Ken Park. They're in Ken Park." So Kids was about kids when the parents weren't around in their own secret world, and Ken Park is about families, parents and children, and it's about how all of us have to survive our families, whether they're good families or bad families or messed up families. All of us have to at some point get past that and survive our families.
There's no such thing as good families.
I can't hear you.
In the movies, there's no such things as good families.
Well, no, they're pretty dysfunctional families.
It's the least we can say.
Yeah. I had all these stories that I wanted to tell about families and about these kids, and I decided to put them all together in one film. So they're all there.
Where do you get the stories? Where does it come from?
Well, 2 of the stories are based on people I know very well, so they're right on true stories about a couple of friends of mine. The other 2 characters are based on things I've read and things I've seen about people, things that happen. These are all, based in reality, real life, and I think the trick was to make it as authentic as possible in the film, and I think it works.
So he doesn't say anything about what is what, but if I had to guess, I would say the wildest ones are probably the ones he doesn't know. He probably doesn't know anyone who is married to their father in an underground lair. Probably doesn't know anyone who murdered their grandparents, but maybe he knew someone that eccentric. I think the other stories are a little bit more believable. Like, oh yeah, my dad tried to suck me off when I was sleeping one time and I fucking left home. What is the other one? I don't know how believable it is. I fucked my girlfriend's mom. I did not fuck that woman.
I think the pregnant mom is very much one.
Yeah.
Especially her drinking a beer.
Spaghetti, where have you seen pregnant mom before?
Well, I will say, so, going back to like our kids thing, it got me into researching, Larry Clark's origins. And he was a visual artist before he got into filmmaking. And his infamous book is Tulsa, because he grew up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And because Larry Clark is 80-something years old.
82. I just looked it up.
Yeah. So these are kids from the 50s, 60s, possibly. I don't know. I'm not doing math and I'm butchering it right now. But he would just observe this group of kids, and that's where sort of the influence of kids came from, that he was, you know, returning to form of the 90s kids, the same kind of atmosphere. But I like to think that Ken Park is a lot of people that he personally knew in his book Tulsa. And I remember one of the images is like a pregnant lady who is like shooting up heroin. So when I saw like Amanda Plummer with the beer can, I thought for
Smoking
sure
cigarettes.
Yeah, I thought for sure like they're not going the heroin route because it doesn't fit the storyline, but I thought for sure that was like an image from Tulsa, for sure.
That's why I'm glad to have you on, because I know nothing about Tulsa, so I would never have brought this up.
Yeah, and I imagine, like just the atmosphere of the kids hanging out, and I'm sure that the intimacy of the threesome and all that stuff, I'm sure that's direct out of personal Larry Clark.
That's what Larry Clark did in the 50s with his friends. Like, we're having a threesome with our friend gal.
Yeah, the mentality of just being on various drugs or alcohol and hanging out and having random sex and having no pressure in the world.
It does feel like a very like on the road kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I got out of it. And I think if I researched correctly here, I think that, because originally Larry Clark was trying to write it and he couldn't write for crap because he's very much a visual artist. You know, I don't want to take away from his writing ability, but that's where Harmony Korine comes in, and Harmony Korine is basing it off the images in the book Tulsa.
Gotcha. A red ink on a paper napkin. It's like, I need this from you, boy.
Yeah.
Adam, I guess my first question, how'd you do with this movie, man? How'd you do with this pornographic movie?
Oh, I did. Yeah. Oh, you know me, man. I did fine. The only part that actually bothered me was the grandparents scene in the middle of the night. And maybe the father scene, but even then I was just more like,
the dog
whoa.
Scene?
Yeah, no, when
dog scene fucked me up.
Seeing that, I was immediately like, oh man, my wife would be so mad right now. She can't stand like, animal cruelty in a movie, even if it's like off camera.
Yeah, I was like, don't watch this one with your wife.
With the old, we're going to sit down with a bowl of popcorn and we're going to watch some Ken Park.
Hey, what do you think about this? Spaghetti has posted in the Discord. By the way, folks, join the Discord. Please join the Discord. If you're one of the 20 people, I know you're all like 30 to 40 years old, but download Discord, join up. Spaghetti has posted some images, looks like from Tulsa. One of them being a pregnant woman shooting up heroin. Enlightening.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe of this certain parts of this movie.
Yeah, everyone's wearing those fucking white underwear, and then fucking, you're like, oh, is the dick gonna pop out? It's almost gonna pop out.
The gun in his mouth.
Yeah, it's very.
It says
so
this book was published originally in 1971. So yeah, I'm sure that's pretty. I guess relatively speaking, yeah, you know, think about it from that aspect of that place and time. You know, where was this book distributed? You know, like you get it at a library.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it out at the library. Can you guys get Tulsa in?
You can request it.
They look at the book when they get it in. They're like, what the fuck?
You're like on a list. They put you on a list.
Yeah, people thought Madonna's sex book was provocative.
Yeah,
it was. Madonna would be provocative today. All right, let's do our traditional thing where we go through the cast list. Why don't we? We got Tiffany Limos as Peaches. I heard a horrifying fact when I was reading up and watching videos on this, which is that allegedly Tiffany Limos was his girlfriend at the time.
Was Larry Clark's?
Yeah. He was like 50.
Yeah. Wow.
So they showed a photo of them together, and I was like, oh, it does look like they're dating or something.
Yeah. Fuzzy math. I just
Legend.
59 at the time that this was released.
I don't know how I feel about Larry Clark, but just some information.
Are we talking
hanging out with the young people?
We're having an age gap discourse. Okay, how old was she though? Like a bit of 19.
She's like 18 or 19, 20, 22 at the very max. I think the oldest person was 22. I had to look this up because I watched this movie and I was like, did I just watch like?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Same. I was like, because I don't remember this.
Oh yeah, because it's very, again, I said it's pornographic. It goes essentially all the way. I wonder how far it went, but it goes far enough. Anyway, she's great in this movie. Tiffany, you did great.
I wonder if they're still together.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
Where are they?
I'm pretty sure it's unsimulated sex. I'm pretty sure it was real. I think this movie always pops up on a list. Like if you always Google a list of what are the movies that are notorious because stuff is real, and like always like Brown Bunny pops up with Vincent Gallo, and then like Ken Park pops up. So I'm pretty sure it was real.
I posted the image earlier that was the meme that said Gen Z watching this movie, and it's the meme of like the person overflowingly pouring like creamer or whatever into this cup of coffee, and it says makers is the hand, and the cup is useless sex scenes pouring into this cup, and the cup is any movie or TV show. I was like, this would destroy their brains. They'd be like, this should be illegal. Like I imagine you'd get a group of Gen Z kids together to like ban this.
Well, this movie was,
you know what I mean?
This movie's still, I think, banned in Australia. And
really?
At least in in 2003. Yeah, they fucking like somebody. This lady put on a viewing of it, and
Jake, I put a hungry man in the oven.
Yeah, had some hungry mans to eat with it. And yeah, the cops showed up and shut them down. It was actually like a very ridiculous. I watched like footage of it, and like
I have the footage. I have the footage.
Tonight, a group of people set up a public screening of a banned movie, bringing the police out in force.
It wasn't your usual movie premiere. No red carpet, no stars, just plenty of boys in blue. Film critic Margaret Pomerantz and her team Free Cinema had a mission to screen a movie called Ken Park, banned in this country because of its explicit sexual content. So they arranged an illegal screening at a suburban town hall and let word of mouth bring the crowds.
It's a shame that we've actually had to come to this point.
But the expectant crowd barely got to see the opening titles before the police stepped in. As police tried to seize the DVD, a member of the crowd spun the projector onto the wall so the audience could get a better view. Police responded by cutting the power, which of course meant they couldn't get the DVD out of the player. So the power was switched back on, but the screening was over, and it was time for organisers to face the music.
I've asked Margaret if she could come over to the station with us, and she's agreed to do that.
There are 4 of us who pressed the button.
I understand, and we'll need to get your particulars, please, at this stage.
All these people came here to see this film tonight, and I said I'd show it to them, and I can't do that.
While Margaret and her team were taken away, an old-fashioned anti-censorship protest began.
This is ultimately how it is done, by a team of police in a public hall full of adults who wish to see a film which is freely screened in many countries around the world.
While there was much disappointment when the screen went blank, organisers were quick to point out that the battle is far from over and promised there'd be more screenings of Ken Park before long.
It's not titillating, it's bleak, it's depressing. You know, it's not a film that you're going to, get off on.
At this stage, no charges have been laid, but those flaunting this law can face up to 1 year in jail. Angela Bishop, 10 News.
So I wanted to play that because it's very near and dear to my heart, video nasties, and the concept of banned videos, banned movies. Real quick, I got some quotes from Harmony Korine. So this is it's also from our good friend.
Hello. I'm Terry Dooley.
And I'm Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Roger Ebert, December 2002, from his Movie Answer Man section. Larry Clark, the director of the controversial teenage sex movie Ken Park, recently got into a fight with his British distributor, and the film was pulled from the London Film Festival. What's the story? Roger replied, Clark wrote an email about the incident that was forwarded to me by his publicist, Reed Roosevelt, greatly condensed. It says that Clark grew angry at his British distributor, Hamish McAlpine, during a dinner, at which McAlpine said September 11th was the best thing that ever happened to America, and continued praising Yasser Arafat and making disparaging comments about Israel and Jews. When he praised Hamas, Clark wrote, I said, what about the innocent little children and babies who get blown up? He said, they deserve to die. And I lost it. I punched him in the nose. I hit him a few more times. He went to the hospital with a broken nose, and I went to jail for 4 hours before they let me go. He now says he will not release Ken Park, and pulled the film from the London Film Festival. But if I had awoken this morning after listening to him last night and hadn't hit him, I don't think I could have looked myself in the mirror. McAlpine later told the London Guardian, I was not prepared to put up with the presence of a racist man. McAlpine thought Clark was racist because he was anti-Palestine, and Clark thought McAlpine was racist because he was anti-Israel. Clark is taking anger management classes. The film is without a British distributor. And lastly, from a 2006 interview, this is a review of Larry Clark's later film, What's Up Rockers. Clark usually makes movies about teenagers and has a rapport with them that's privileged or creepy, depending on your point of view. His first film was The Powerful Kids from 1995, which launched the acting careers of 4 first-timers, Rosario Dawson, Chloe Sevigny, Leo Fitzpatrick, and Justin Pierce. The writer-director Harmony Korine, Bully from 2001 saw how the group dynamic works to drive teenagers towards a murder none of them would have done alone, and Ken Park from 2002 was bold in its frankness about teenage sexuality. A success at Telluride, it was never released commercially in the United States, not because of its content, but because of Clark says, producer never cleared the music rights. So I want to point out none of that was Korine, that was all Roger Ebert, but yeah. I don't know why I went off on that, but I wanted to get in there that Larry Clark punched the distributor, and this movie still doesn't have any official release. You can't stream this anywhere. You have to basically download it somewhere, and that's just crazy.
That's a wild story in and of itself, and it's I guess it's funny in a way because you wouldn't attribute this not being released widely or having any kind of distribution to an anecdotal story like that where he got into a fight because there was some, rightfully so. Like I could see that happening, but it's like just seems with the content, the time, and that would be a more likely story as I got into a fight with this racist distributor, and I mean think about that. It's like that 9/11 was fresh right then. I'm assuming when this happened. So
2002.
2002. So that's a really odd reasoning for the distribution.
I don't know if Spaghetti has anything to say about distribution or why this isn't widely available, but I've heard from basically just the music rights. Larry Clark's like, yeah, we never got the music rights figured out.
I keep on thinking this is the Sippy of Larry Clark movies. If you double down on the Scrabble scene in the movie, the whole time you're playing, yeah.
That's a word. What's
Disqualified. That's all I could think of the whole time.
Bullshit artist.
Grams, you're a bullshit artist. We were going through the cast list at some point. Let's go back to that. James Bullard as Sean. I invited James to come on the conversation on the show today, but haven't heard back. Maybe in the future. Stephen Jasso as Claude. No hyperlink. So James Bullard and Stephen Jasso, I guess, never really did anything after this. So you had James Ransone as Tate. I wanted to bring up James Ransone. Adam, did you recognize James Ransone from anywhere?
No, I actually did not. Why? Are you going to tell me something?
without looking, did anyone recognize him from anywhere? Was anyone like, oh, he looks familiar?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, he looked familiar to me.
A little bit, but fleeting thought, and didn't think much of it.
He was in It Chapter 2, Part 2, the remake. He played the grown-up of one of the kids. He was like the nervous kid who's like, oh. He's the adult in It Chapter 2. I've seen him jerk off to completion.
Wow.
Oh, he's in Inside Man, and
he's in a lot of stuff.
Sinister,
he is like a
Black
successful
Phone.
actor.
Was this his first
Black Phone?
Was this his first flick credited?
It was a second credited movie. He was a bodysuit role in The American Astronaut from 2001. But yeah, this was his second, probably biggest role up to that point.
Who's in? You remember the HBO show Generation Kill?
I remember the name. I never watched it.
It's like Band of Brothers, but Desert Storm.
Okay.
I think I might be wrong.
The point is, he's like a successful actor. Yeah.
Oh, it's
let it all hang out like that. I guess you get casting director's attention.
This is like getting big in horror movies. Yeah.
You just send that oh yeah, you can send me your reel, and he just sends that scene.
He's like, check this shit out.
Oh my God. Anyway, I love him. Yeah, James Ransone. I heard, again, everything's alleged. I didn't do enough reading into it, but I heard online that someone said James Ransone has a very negative opinion of Larry Clark to the point where he might call him like a predator. Alleged.
Yeah.
I read this online.
That is interesting because, watching these late teens, early 20s, it's a totally different experience. And and I think that's probably who maybe the intended audience is from Larry Clark. But there is that question in my mind is how exploitive is this? Is it? You're talking about dealing with these young kids in hypersexualized scenes and roles where. And this one particularly, because I've seen Bully. I think Bully was, for the time and place, it was like a decent flick. It was like disturbing and stuff like that, but it had story. It was based on a true story. Where this was just like, is this really like an art film, or is it just really? It comes down to like this older guy like making it. It's kind of like has those vibes to it a little bit. And this is me, maybe I'm just getting old, like get off my lawn, but I'm just like, whereas like watching this whenever I did it, like in my early 20s, like, oh yeah, Come Park, like crazy, it would be like the kind of movie you're like, oh, there's like, you gotta watch this movie. There's this crazy scene and insert, the Justin Rancone scene. It's like that's wait a minute, that's gnarly. Like they did that, that word of mouth where you're describing a certain scene from a movie. I remember that distinctively in that era, oh, have you seen Poltergeist? Like this dude like washes his face and his face comes out and you're like, wait a minute, what? Like somebody describing a scene to you would be kind of like an anchor to seek out and watch the movie. And I feel that there's that connection here where it's when you're of that age, you'd be like, oh, yo, there's this threesome in this movie and like and it's wild. You got to check it out. And me sitting here much older, I'm just like, is this like, what is Larry Clark thinking, and, it was just kind of my thoughts watching it. I'm like, maybe I'm getting old or maybe there's something to that. And so it seems like the dude who put the most explicit thing out there was putting some feelers out like that as well too, which is pretty interesting.
Adam, do you think Larry Clark went too far?
I mean, the term I keep thinking of is uncompromising, right? Like, and I guess I also think of French. When I watched this movie, I kept thinking, I was like, am I watching a French film? Like, it's always seems like, if you're into theater, if you're into art, you're like, hey, nudity is the highest expression of like true art, right? and this is just taking it to the extreme. Yeah, obviously, I think it goes. I mean, I think that's the point, is that it's going too far. I was thinking too, about what MJ was saying, like Larry Clark being like, I'm a muse for kids, and like, yeah, maybe I'm just getting older too, where it makes me think like, oh, well, I'm not a muse for kids, and I don't know anyone else that is. That seems like if I knew someone like that in real life, I would maybe stay away from them. But
yeah, well said. I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, like, this guy loves children. You're like, oh, yikes.
Yeah.
What about you, Spaghetti? Does this movie take it too far?
Well, there's a couple things here. So I will say, on the back burner, there's a long history of just films in general where the directors push their actors to go to the extremes. You know, let's take out the sexuality context and everything, just the pure movies. Like, you can even go into, like, The Shining, right? And what Kubrick did to, like, Shelley Duvall. Like, he made her go crazy by Jack Nicholson, you know, chasing her all over the hotel with an axe and all that stuff. I know that's apples and oranges, but it's the context of the director pushing the actor to the extreme to get the scene, right? Now, in this direct occurrence, Clark gets a little bit of a pass because he's the director and he's not conditionally forcing the actor to do it. They're sort of doing it of their own fruition, but still at the same time, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes of how much he's pressuring them. So, you know, it's sort of that double-edged sword, right? And it's sort of left to the mystery of the universe now of hearsay, right? And Larry Clark is very much that dirty old man vibe, so we can easily make that assumption of, yeah, I totally get why this actor now hates him. But to the same token, you know, being devil's advocate, this guy is now a far more successful actor, and he might look back at this movie and go, shoulda, woulda, coulda, I never made this scene. Because it might be haunting him to some degree. I don't know. I'm just looking at all angles. I'm not denoting. But I do think Larry Clark definitely gives off that creepy old man vibe, which sort of gains him entry into creating these kind of stories. I also think, and this is what I was thinking of when I was sort of writing my review yesterday, is a cross comparison with this and Kids. And they're two very different movies. They have the same kind of subject matter, but they're made differently. And I think because Kids was made a certain way, it gets far more of a pass than Ken Park does. Kids is made, you know, going back to the fancy French terminology, cinema verde, where it's basically you're a fly on the wall. It's almost like a documentary. You're observing these kids, right? That's how Kids is made. There's even occurrences where the standard viewer watches Kids and they don't know that it's not real life, right? Which it pretty much is. It blurs that reality. When you watch Ken Park, you can very much tell it's separated in a series of vignettes, and it's far more scripted. And I think that's where it comes into more problematic territory, because it's more like the characters involved were scripted to do the acts in the film, versus Kids is just, you know, sit back and watch them do their own thing.
You can feel the direction in this a lot more.
Yeah. I sort of compare. You ever see Todd Solondz movies? I actually...
No, not yet. I know you recently picked up the one 4K or whatever Blu-ray.
Yeah, like Happiness, Welcome to the Dollhouse. Right. Yeah. This reminded me...
him? I thought it was the Palindrome movie. Is that
that's him also. Yep. Storytelling, okay. Palindromes, Happiness, Welcome to the Dollhouse. This movie was sort of made like a Todd Solondz movie. And it just doesn't have that dark humor to it. I mean, there might be slight dark humors there. Like, you could maybe chuckle over the morbid element of the Scrabble argument, but that's about it, and even that's not funny.
You know what, Gramps? You're a bullshit artist.
But it was almost like Larry Clark and Harmony Korine had some elements that worked with kids, and then they went their own separate paths, and then Larry Clark's like, okay, I need to go back to the kids element, but then he saw some Todd Solondz movies and tried to make a Todd Solondz movie.
Interesting.
Out of kids.
Yeah.
That's sort of what my takeaway.
Yeah, that's a really interesting take. I could see the Todd Solondz. It definitely has that feel. Like it and if you're talking it from like the art, or like as Adam was saying, like, is this like you're watching like a French movie where it's, you know, all anything goes. I could see that. I don't think it's as well done as a Todd Solondz movie, because it was like better structure. Yeah, I think you put it's like these vignettes, like loosely associated. You know, there's no connection other than these kids are acquaintances, and even the title characters like Ken Park. You know, it's kind of a loose reference. Like they don't really know him. They kind of just talk about him, and it's like it feels a little disjointed. Maybe that's by design, but there's like, and usually that doesn't bother me. And I don't think Harmony's script comes through in that. Is like it doesn't feel like it's his voice. It feels very much as this is Larry Clark. And in my justification, there's like, oh, when you hear some of those lines, like that's definitely Harmony, and that's his tone, that's his style, that's in that time frame too, right? But I think overall, you know, definitively for me, it feels much more that this is like Larry Clark as opposed to Harmony Korine.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that. Like, how much does this feel like a Harmony Korine work? It's tough. Like, I've seen every Harmony Korine movie at this point, so it's like, I don't know. It does feel like the guy who wrote Kids maybe wrote this. It's hip, it's new, but you know, we were saying, I think Spaghetti was saying that Larry Clark gets a free pass on this shit. You know who else gets a free pass on this shit? Edward Lachman. We haven't talked about him once.
Right. I didn't really know who that was. I had to look it up too.
He's a DP. He's worked on stuff with Todd Haynes, Wim Wenders, Steven Soderbergh, Paul Schrader. I don't know who Pablo Larraín or Ulrich Seidel are, but I guess he's mainly like a DP.
Yeah, not exactly amateur, you know, either. It's well shot. Like, you know, it's not for the subject matter.
It's so strange that this thing had like a crew, like it had a bunch of people. Hopefully had like craft services. Hopefully people were fed.
It's all union.
But yeah. Does this feel like a Harmony Korine movie? Do you include this in the Harmony Korine era? Do you include this in his? If you had to catalog his movies, would you include Ken Park?
I mean, I guess for me, I mean, yes, but in the way where it feels like a rehash. Like, I know we've talked about how it's different than Kids, but it feels almost like a rehash. I like that it's, you know, the fresh edition of the adults, because it shows off the entire, like Larry Clark says, he wants to show like the entire family unit. But I feel like, I don't know, you look at Harmony Korine's like filmography, and like every film is different than the last, you know? Like he's not, like he even says that in interviews where he's like, I don't think about my movies when I make a movie. And so I guess I'm going with the classic yes and no.
Perfect. What about you, MJ?
That's a great way to put it, and that it is a companion piece to kids. And I think it, as I was kind of alluding to, is that it has those elements of like that's a definitely Harmony line. So it has those sprinkles in it. And so, I mean, I don't think it's his best, you know, and thinking of the context of the movie and just like, it sounds as if him and Larry Clark kind of had a falling out around this, and he changed the ending from what I understand, and some other things. So creatively
I wonder what the original ending is.
So I heard, and I'm happy to share, yeah, that, so
yes, go ahead.
So it kind of goes, you know, it's the bookend where you're seeing Crapneck or Ken Park at the end with his girlfriend who says that she's pregnant. And that's kind of like where the end is, like, well, and you know, the end line is, don't you wish your mother, I bet you wish your mother didn't abort you, or what, however, you know, that is. And it's just like him sitting there not answering in silence. And it's like, that's the beat it ends on. So it's alluding to, he did it because he wished he was never born. I guess from reading around, digging around, is the original Harmony script has that scene where the baby's born, you know, they decide to keep it, and it's a black baby, and that's what,
whoa,
yeah, so that's what triggers the opening of the movie, which is probably like,
wow,
yeah, so that's what was left out, allegedly, you know. I can't, this is just internet.
Is this script sleuthing out there? Can I buy this script somewhere?
It's elusive. It's hard to get, because that was like my inkling. If I could find the script, it would be like, let's see what was original and what has changed. It's elusive. Or if it is, it's like if somebody puts it up and it goes for like $500, or, you know, if it's authentic.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's an interesting. Thanks for sharing that. I like how the movie ends, but
yeah, it's not necessarily.
It's an ending.
Yeah, and it's like which would be better. I think it's just the context of, you know, it's so loose based on. Anyway, like everything's just feels very loose. Like they're not worried about tying anything together. It's more just it's like. I guess that's where it is. It's like an experience. It makes you feel a certain way, and that ties to Harmony Korine. Whether he was part of the recipe of this, but I'm not sure that he's you know, in the final entree that comes out of it. It's like, you know, maybe some of his stuff got like cooked off or something like that. It's like adding wine; the alcohol gets cooked off.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Spaghetti? Do you count this as part of Harmony Korine's oeuvre?
Well, yeah, I'm along the same lines, where I think that, you know, I keep on going back to Kids and how much lightning in a bottle Kids is. It's such an influential movie, and then it's almost like they set their ships on two separate courses, and then this somewhat reuniting tried to happen, even though Korine was maybe not there directly. He was just sort of there in somewhat spirit, and it just sort of, it connected, but then it didn't connect. I don't know. It's not the same as Kids for me, and that's what I sort of double down on. It has his elements. It's a flavor of, but I mean, I would still put it as an asterisk side note, because it has that portion to it, but it's almost like, I don't know, because I was even like, I think even Clark was doing good with like making stuff like Bully. Like I love Bully. Bully's a great movie, and you know, hopefully someday that happens on here. And but you know, Bully is. I would love to see Ken Park be made in that fashion, because to me, Bully's closer to Kids than Ken Park is.
Agreed. I would say that. Yeah, and I agree. It's a much better film. It came out right around the same time too.
Yeah, to me, I appreciate what Ken Park is. I appreciate the sentiment, the attempt but it's almost like it's like a forced concoction. And there is some validity to the shock, but then also I think there's some band-aiding to the shock. And I think it's the same with Korine. There's some validity to the Korine, but there's also some band-aiding with the Korine because Clark didn't know how to express his story anyway. And it's almost like I think Clark's story of Tulsa came out in kids. So why did we need to make Ken Park?
It's chasing a dragon. Yeah, it's hard to catch lightning in a bottle twice, and maybe it's like, it's like maybe sometimes better left unsaid and like still trying to chase it and recreate it.
Yeah, because I mean, just I still will like always to this day. I know kids is very uncomfortable to people, but I think just how that movie progresses, how it's it was such a game chaser, or game changer. I don't know. I'm muddling my words here. It was such a game changer that it's just I don't know. I found myself the whole time watching Ken Park and trying to cross compare, and it was not doing favors to Ken Park. Even though I like some of the mentality, the attempts. So it's a long way around it in my rambling of words here. It is Korine adjacent, but I think Korine moved on to greener pastures with Julian Donkey Boy and Gummo, and I think Clark moved on to greener pastures with Bully. And so it's like sort of, I don't know, an attempt.
This is a step backwards?
To me, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense why Korine would just say, no, I don't fuck with that dog. Now, I mentioned earlier the mom. I kind of want to get into the story a little bit. So we got our characters. The movie does open with our character named Ken Park, a.k.a. Crapneck, pronounced backwards. He's a teenager skating in Visalia, California. He's skating to some like punk song. I want to, I guess, point out here too, the music in this movie is super interesting. When I listened with headphones this time, I don't know if Adam noticed, but there was track by Quasimodo, Put a Curse on You.
Yeah.
There's also some KMD. But yeah, there's a scene with, I think Claude's just like hanging out with his, like, in his room talking to someone on the phone. And you just hear, put a curse on you. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. I had to look it up right then.
Delightful score. It's a delightful soundtrack that I didn't notice on my first watch till I listened with headphones. But yeah, you got these kids and there's a good soundtrack. This movie opens with a cool soundtrack. You have Ken Park. He goes to a skate park. He smiles, pulls out a camera, a camcorder. So you get like two elements. You got the film, because it's shot on film. And then you have digital video camcorder of Ken Park setting it up to like film himself doing something. Pulls out a gun, smiles, just blows his brains out. It's really well done, I want to say. And this is the scene that's iconic. This is the thing you see from Ken Park. I saw a mock-up of someone doing custom artwork for the movie, like custom Blu-ray. It was just him smiling with a gun to his head. I was like, that's funny. So that opens up Ken Park. I think it's a really cool opening. It gets your attention. One thing I'll say about Ken Park is I think the pacing is really good. Like, I don't think this movie feels super long or anything. What is it, like 90 minutes, 93 minutes? So I think it's, I don't know. I was earlier today, I was watching YouTube videos on Ken Park and I was like, what do other people have to say? Let's see. And like the first one was just like, it sucks. I hated it. Why does he have to do, it was the Gen Z makers unnecessary sex scene thing. I was like, all right, next one was some like Gen X guy who's like, this movie's so fucking bad. 0 bacons.
What?
He's like, Korine can't write for shit. And I'm just like, this is crazy. So we're going to be the first positive podcast on this in some way where I say the pacing was good and I enjoyed the movie mostly. And that was a really good opening to the movie. We're introduced to Sean, which is our most stable of the four main characters. And he has an ongoing sexual relationship with Rhonda, his girlfriend's mother. And, you know, you're introduced because he just walks up. There's a little girl downstairs watching TV, and it's just like big asses on the screen.
It's like Hawaiian Tropic
on the beat.
Yeah, it's like all she's watching. I thought Sean was the most, maybe not relatable character, but enviable character, right? Like that's the wish fulfillment we've talked about in movies where you're like, oh man, I wish that could be me, her, when I was a kid, right?
How old is Sean supposed to be? How old are these kids supposed to be in this movie? No one goes to high school. Is it summer? Is it summer school? Are they 18? Did they just graduate?
Well, doesn't his little brother go to school at the very beginning?
Yeah,
his little brother is not getting
he's like beating up on his brother in a friendly way, and then his little brother goes, "I hate that fucker," and then he goes to school, but then Sean does it,
and then Sean does meet up with his girlfriend outside of the school later, and like he has a backpack on, so essentially, I would say,
he does.
I would say they felt. I mean, I almost want to be like, were they over the age of 16? Because none of them have a car, right? Like they're all just skating to where they need to go, or winding up where they need to go.
I'm gonna put them in that gray area of high school senior, 18. Larry Clark,
hopefully
safety range.
Let's hope they were like 18. It's not,
They all literally were like 18. I think the youngest one was 18 or whatever.
Or even like
I heard a story with James Ransone during the interview with Larry Clark. He's like, yeah, Dr. James, we waited a year to do the scene. I was like, he was 18. You groomed a 17-year-old. Allegedly.
Ooh.
But anyway. I do like the scene with Rhonda, and honestly, like, this is the most like the scenes with him and Rhonda and that entire like section, like there's nothing really bad that happens. You kind of get some negative feelings about Patrick Star, the husband from SpongeBob.
Yeah, that was he's Patrick Star. What else? Do you guys know what else? Because I'm like, where do I know that guy from? And that was my.
I had to look it up.
Coach. He's Dauber on Coach. I'm like, that is that him? And it like sure enough was.
There's also an homage in Jennifer's Body. If you guys have seen Jennifer's Body, there's the coach or the guy who just yells out in the field. He's like, ah, or something like that. I don't remember, but he's a coach in that movie.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I'm like,
I thought he was in Body Double, but no.
It's funny because I remember watching Coach as a kid, and he was just like the goofy, kind of dim-witted football guy, right? Like probably, too many collisions on the field, but
yeah, he's like the assistant coach, I think.
He's assistant coach, right? Yeah, he's one of them, or one of the coordinators, whatever. And it's like, and just seeing him in this, I wonder, and then he's Patrick Star, SpongeBob. It's like this is an interesting choice for him.
This is the same time too, yeah. That started in like 99 or something. That's crazy, but yeah, I don't know. This movie's wild. The fact that he's in it. Also, Rhonda is played by Maeve Quinlan, who was on like a soap opera for a long time, The Bold and the Beautiful, from like the 80s until I guess when this happened. And you get cool like things like set decoration, like the old photos of her, because she was like a famous person that had photos done. And I don't know, she's super brave. What the fuck? I can't imagine doing this movie. But yeah, she gets eaten out. Her introduction with our character Sean is he's like, "Can I eat you out?" She's like, "No, I'm doing laundry." Super brave. I don't necessarily think this movie is very titillating, but I think their relationship is like the closest I would say to sweet, even though it's like obviously like weird and predatory.
That was the reveal during that scene. You discover that Sean is dating his daughter, and they're just kind of
her
nonchalant, like casual, like it's just it's a really odd conversation to be having, and she's talking about Patrick Starr's like who's bigger, and like do you think about like just, and just okay, it's like this is a interesting conversation. But I guess if you are in that type of like relationship and odd love triangle, you know, what else are you going to talk about?
How many times did you come? How many times did you come?
And yeah, nothing against him. He just looks so out of place. Like in the real world.
I don't understand it at all. I also think it's weird their conversation they have because he's like, I love her. Oh yeah, you're a great couple.
Yeah, you're a great couple. She likes that. Or he's talking about how they're like similar. Oh, she does the same thing that you did. Yeah, and it's just like, you know.
In bed.
Yeah. It's just odd commentary.
It's like, you're better though. It's like, I have more experience. And then you got Claude. Who has... Okay, I wanted to point out about Claude. The first thing I'll mention about Claude is his father. And I want to point out the scene later where he's pissing. It's after he returns with the grandfather from the TV show Grounded for Life, and the wildest role I've ever seen. I didn't know he was in a bunch of shit, but the old man in the car with him.
Oh yeah,
was like
he was in Office Space
actor.
too.
Yeah.
He was like,
oh yeah, that's right.
Jump to conclusions, Matt.
Yeah, you jump to
I just
conclusions.
Couldn't believe it. Like, she's a crack whore. No, I like her. Such a weird role. But there's a scene where he gets home, and I think it's before he goes in and tries to like assault his son. But he's pissing in the toilet, and he's just drinking a beer as he's pissing, and he's looking in the mirror. He's just like, oh.
And the camera pans down.
To myself,
you know.
I was just like, if you ever end up in the situation where you look like this man and you're doing what this man's doing, you need to rethink your entire life.
You know, Dan, when I was, it's very serendipitous you say that. When I was like 22 in the Army, like I remember we went out one night, you know, had a lot of fun, and I'm sitting there doing the same. I have a beer in my hand, and I look over in the mirror, and I was just like, it was just like a very crystallizing moment. I was like, what the fuck are you doing over there? Like, but I have to say, that is a great feeling. You know, not speaking to what he does later in the film, but, you know, taking a leak with a beer in your hand. I mean,
I've definitely chugged a beer while pissing. You know, that's in my
oh yeah
skill set. You know,
so grotesque. You see his penis; it's unsimulated.
High key, yeah, it's goated.
All right. Then you have Peaches, a girl who lives alone with her obsessive, highly religious father. I caught on my second viewing, like the first thing he's doing is he has a magnifying glass and he's like reading the Bible about like harlots and shit. I was like, oh, okay.
Some foreshadowing.
It was telegraphed to you.
Foreshadowing, huh?
Exactly. Telegraphed to you way earlier. She has a boyfriend who's coming over, Curtis. He's like, you want the long hair? You know, I used to have long hair. You want to pull out the the photo book? And he has a dead wife who looks just like Peaches, and he has not gotten over her death. And basically just is in love with his daughter. And I don't know, man. That's some uncomfortable shit. And then you got Tate. Unstable and sadistic. We mentioned Tate already. But
you know what, Gramps? You're a bullshit artist. Sippy? That's not a word. What's a sippy?
I felt like a lot of times the writer inserts himself into a movie, and maybe just because I know what Harmony Korine looks like, I was like, that looks like a young Harmony Korine. Is that supposed to represent him? Like,
oh my god,
or at least like an alter ego of him. His film.
This is my worst. Yeah, maybe. He's horrifying, man. Like every scene he's in, I'm just like, man, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
He's introduced beating up his 3-legged dog, and I'm like, did he rip one of his dog's legs off?
Yeah, because he's
threatening to rip another one off.
He's threatening the dog to rip off another.
Yeah.
Calls him legs, and then he gets pissed off, like punches him, he like ties his like sock around his mouth, and this is the stuff that's hard for me to watch personally. Even though like the dog is not an actor, the dog doesn't know what acting is. It's like I hope that dog was okay. I don't know, but that's the hardest part in this movie for me to watch. Other than the him jerking off to completion.
If this movie was made 10 years later, he'd have like Milo ponies all over his room, and then a jar that he's
maybe, yeah.
You know the brony kid.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I like how he's introduced because it's like an opening narration where he's like, "This is Tate. He's super smart. He just thinks about things in a different way. He used to spit on girls to make people laugh. People would walk by and say, Tate's crazy. Tate's insane."
I see that's like a Harmony Korine, like that. Those little intros, you get that's where you get the little flavoring bits of his style. I think.
Yeah, that and the phraseology of crap neck. That's Korine. Yeah.
But Tate's a piece of shit who lives with his grandparents and eventually fucking murders them. And that's really it. And obviously we get the opening with Ken Park, and I really like how the end happens. You get the threesome and you have Ken Park. They play like a guessing game, and they're like, it's like, guess who I am? You know me. I'm not famous. I'm not here anymore. And he explains he's dead. And then he's like, I don't know, who is it? And then it pans to Sean, and then it ends, just shows the title Ken Park, and then you get the end scene where he's like, aren't you glad your mom didn't abort you? Just ends on him. I love that. I want to talk about particulars, but I don't want to go over the plot in every detail, every beat. What are some interesting things that stuck out to you, Spaghetti?
Well, one thing when we were mentioning famous actors and actresses, the pregnant mom's Amanda Plummer.
Okay, halt right here.
Yeah,
Amanda Plummer, mom. She was in Freeway. She was the addicted mother in Freeway that gets arrested.
She's in Pulp Fiction, the very beginning.
Honey Bunny.
Yeah. She's typecast, man. She's in Pulp Fiction. She's okay.
Fisher King. She's in a lot of stuff. Prophecy.
I'm not aware of all this stuff, but yeah, she seems like an accomplished actress. But
did you ever see Prophecy with Christopher Walken?
No, I know Vinegar Syndrome put it out.
Oh yeah, she's like half dead for like the movie, but yeah. She was in a lot of 90s and stuff like that. There. I lost my train of thought there. Oh, other tidbits. Sorry. Let's see here. Like I said, doubling down on the point we made earlier is this Harmony Korine. Definitely the crap neck, the vignettes, how it's written is very much Harmony Korine. And then I think I like the atmosphere. I like the procession of thought. My point earlier when I was talking about Todd Solondz, the one that made me the scene or vignettes that I thought for sure was the most like him was the father marrying his daughter. That is straight out of a Todd Solondz movie. The whole awkward marriage ceremony and all that stuff, and that guy's famous too. He's in a bunch of stuff. The dad, the bald.
I like
dad.
him. He's like putrid, but I like him.
Yeah.
No, he
had
some acting chops. You could tell, like he portrayed that father well.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff, if you haven't seen a Todd Solondz movie, that's what you're going to get the whole time, is just weird, awkward, uncomfortable.
Get that awkward feeling, yeah.
Yeah, but then Todd Solondz doubles down and makes it like super dark humor. Ironic enough, I won't get into it, but I watched Happiness last night after watching Ken Park. So my mind is sort of on that weird train of thought of comparing
That's
contrast.
a wild double feature, man.
Yeah.
We'll add him to the director series for sure.
Oh, yeah. I guess, I don't know, I'm rambling here, but yeah, I mean, I think Korine just works the best. Korine and Clark works the best when they're trying to do the fly on the wall kind of energy with kids. And I think that this was a very interesting film in its atmosphere and procession. I would have liked to see it not staged as much, and it felt staged in moments. Oh, the other thing I wanted to bring up is when he was saying bullshit artists. There's a movie that I think everybody needs to see that's totally unrelated, but it's called The Greasy Strangler. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole part in that movie where people are having an argument and they're just calling each other bullshit artists for like 3 minutes straight. So check out Greasy Strangler. So, but yeah, that's
I would like to.
Yeah, I'm sure something else will pop up in my head as we go along. But yeah,
that's all. That's all.
That's
good.
my ramble.
I do have a question. Did you watch the autoerotic asphyxiation scene fully? Did you watch it with your eyes all the way through?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I watched the...
Good man.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just sort of... I don't know. I watch a lot of, like...
How many times did you go?
After you see a lot of, like, Cannibal Holocaust and Cat 3 movies and all kinds of stuff, you can just sort of watch anything. So it's like, whatever.
Yeah, I agree.
You watched that
shocking
scene was
to
like,
see
is this really happening? Is it really? Is it? Wait, really? Is he?
I
it's
saw the
happening.
cum.
It's happening.
It happened. Yeah, the movie begs you to like keep watching that because you're just like, no, you're not going to go all the way.
What is he
there.
going to do now? Nah, that ain't going to happen. Oh,
and then
yeah.
I was for sure someone was going to open the door and like strangle him more or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's going to happen.
It's like it definitely has that suspense, or the scene where Peaches and her long-haired boyfriend are hooking up and the dad comes back and he starts like she has tied him to the bed, so he's basically defenseless, and the religious father
shit
just unleashes a insane beating on him. But as he's doing it, I was like, it's like he pauses from punching him in the face, and it looks like he goes and like bites him like in his armpit, and I'm like, what is that? Like,
it's a mirror. It's supposed to represent trauma, creating a fetish. So like, she bites his nipple or licks at his nipple a lot earlier. It's something he does to her. Depressing, but that's what's happening.
Wild. Yeah, I guess that's I mean, crazy.
Well,
that's why she's into bondage, because she probably gets fucking tied up and shit.
Well,
yeah.
And I will say, just going back to like how this is like a banned film and everything, and I sort of get it from the time. I don't know if this would be necessarily banned today. I mean, I don't know. It's all circumstantial.
I don't know.
It's just, I mean, I
think
guess
Gen Z would cancel it.
Yeah, I guess I'm jaded in the point that I'm in, obviously I'm in the boutique movie world where I'm watching, Cat 3 movies and all kinds of, like, there's vintage porn and all kinds of stuff that nothing in this movie really shocks me. So maybe it's just me, but I don't know.
I was wondering about Adam's reaction, because he never watches shit like this. Making people watch porn.
Well, don't worry. I've seen plenty of that, so... I
think when he murders his grandparents, that's pretty fucked up. And his grandma would be like, "I love you, grandson.
Yeah,
I love you."
How about right before, where he's... this is like post... autoerotic asphyxiation, right? And he's strolls out and this is him talking into the tape recorder as his confession to the cops. And he says, he's like, I get this cake that my grandmother makes because she knows I like it, and it's like the Boston cream pie or whatever. And so it's just another, that he's, how demented he is. It's like this, he has a grandmother that does love him and is like making his favorite cake that he's eating, but he's just so far twisted that, that's like, he uses the same knife to kill him, and he's just like cuts into the cake and uses it as to fork it into his mouth, right? And then his next thing is, I'm gonna go kill my grandparents that are sleeping now. Yeah.
I knew he was a psychopath when he used his hand as a plate. I was like, he got that cake, and he put it weirdly on his hand, and I was like, what the hell is he doing?
This guy needs to be stopped.
He's also completely naked.
That's
completely naked in the scene. Yeah,
that's the most graphic image in this movie, is him as cake on his hand.
Yeah.
It should be noted he gets rock hard when he kills his grandparents. He's covered in blood. He's like, it made me hard. And then I looked down and I was like, oh man. And then I wasn't hard anymore. So he got turned on by murdering his grandparents. I really think it's a striking image, and you see it a lot, is him sitting in the bed and you have the really cool blue filter over everything. And he slips his grandfather's dentures in his mouth. It's really fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I haven't seen that image yet until I actually watched the movie.
Yeah, so I think it merges with the context, but makes it more notorious than the actuality of like we've seen 500 billion things more gory than the actuality of him stabbing his grandparents in the thing. If just to be pragmatic with it, right? Because you don't really see a lot of blood and guts. Yeah. So it's the mentality behind it which has made this more notorious in nature and banned. That, and there's a bunch of ball sacks everywhere.
Yeah, it's the unsimulated stuff, him jerking off to completion. That was probably
that's what
not get approved by UK or something.
Yeah.
I want to, I guess, before we all get towards the end of this conversation, I do want to bring up the Patrick Starr. I didn't realize until I played that trailer earlier that it's like a joke when he's like, "Eat up, put some hair on your chest." Yeah. I didn't realize that until that trailer played it in sequence, and I was like, "Oh, that's hilarious." So she doesn't want to sleep with him is the thing. So he comes home. He's like, "You're early." He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "This isn't the best time." So the idea is they don't sleep together, and she's nailing the daughter's boyfriend. So from his perspective, this is horrible. This is horrifying.
Yeah, very much.
I don't have much to say. I'm just like, damn, dude. There's no resolution to that. I wonder what happens.
Yeah.
Is anyone getting checked for STDs?
Probably not.
And this is also in an era of AIDS. Like, think about the companion piece to, if it's billed that way as companion piece, it's like all of this unprotected sex in that land of, getting the HIV or whatever, is another statement as to throwing that caution to the wind. Not it's like, not really caring about yourself in a way.
Speaking of weapons, I think that's it, man. I think that's everything in this movie. It's why does the dad try to suck off his son? What is up with all that? And his mom's like, you can't even deal with your father. You gonna deal with the real world?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit.
Yeah. Claude's getting out. He has that scene where he's chilling at his buddy's place, and it's like, oh,
$100 a month.
$100 a month. You can totally do it. How could you make? And I think it's like back then, it's like $100 is obviously a lot more. But that's one of the scenes that's like goes over the edge with his father's like trying to molest him, and he wakes up and he's like the father's like, Claude, it's okay, it's your dad, and that's just pretty wild. I thought Claude's voice, he has like just a really interesting, like kind of odd, high pitched, squirrely type voice, which was kind of stuck out. And then in the end,
doesn't sound like he's gone through puberty.
Really. Right. And which is another odd statement of choice as a character from Larry Clark. And then the threesome at the end with Peaches, Sean, and Claude, which just kind of keeps on going on and on. I guess that kind of feels, Adam, to your point, like I've been watching a French movie. I guess that's where maybe that scene felt like that type of art house, French vibe, whatever.
Yeah, and what do you think about that ending where they're being like, utopia, sex forever? It reminded me of like Heinlein or something.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to, like, thinking about that ending threesome. I don't know if anyone here has read Stephen King's It, but like I got serious It vibes because I was like, man, all this trauma and like that's how they're. I don't know. I had to ask the question like, why a threesome? Clearly, like that's kind of a weird thing to come up. And I don't think it's gratuitous, and I don't think it's just like titillating either, like that lady said. I think it's more of a, oh, okay, these are kids who are like, I don't know, there's like a process of growing past trauma where you have to like reclaim something. And, you know, they've all been, I mean, essentially all the three of those characters were sexually abused. And so like them reclaiming it is just like this powerful expression of like them just going down on each other, going down on another while the other has sex with her. And I thought that was, I don't know. What did you guys think the threesome was gratuitous? I can't imagine anyone would say yes on this podcast.
No. And I'm wondering if it's like a dream state or if it's like, I guess that's the actuality of it is it doesn't necessarily have to be an actual event that exists. It's sort of like a culmination of the three characters just in Larry Clark and Harmony Korine's vision culminating in their experience. And to me, it's maybe like a recognition of the book Tulsa or something like that, where who knows, it's like the ending of all three stories ends with that. So I'm actually somewhat of the opinion that that scene actually doesn't happen in their timeline. It's sort of like just a meta statement.
Jacob's Ladder situation. He's dead the whole time.
Jacob's a hungry man in the oven.
Yeah.
That's what flashes through Ken Park's head as he's falling into the skate hole.
Yeah, dude, maybe.
You know? That's sick.
He's thinking about what people are going to say about him. So,
yeah.
Friends are on threesomes without me. Ken Park. I guess before we head off and we do our sign-offs and kind of give our final thoughts on it, well, no, let's move along with that. You know, in your final sign-offs, I want you to tell me what the movie means to you. So when I ask you, like, hey, do you recommend Ken Park? Your answer is going to be like, you want to defend it. Defend your rating. Defend your idea. You can rate it. You can give it stars if you want. I generally don't. But I want you to defend it, your position. And that's the point.
Oh God, Book 2, starring George Burns.
Spaghetti, I'm going to start with you. Do you recommend Ken Park to our loving audience?
I would say yes, in the connection of its film history, and it's got a devious hidden film connotation to it, and I think it's important for people to watch those kind of movies as sort of like a checklist to say, hey, I've seen this movie that has a lot of notoriety and build around it. Now that's the historical element of the film. The actual film, I would say yes as well, but it's not kids, and I think it is somewhat a shell of kids. So the problem is, on its own, there's a lot of artistic statements there, but it unfortunately has to live within the shadow of all other works by Harmony Korine and Larry Clark. And because of that, it will never match the same level. But it's still worth seeing for the interesting vision as long as you have a stomach for it. That's my takeaway.
How many times did you come? How many times did you come?
What about you, MJ? Would you recommend Ken Park?
I'd say it's no fourth dimension. And I think, kind of piggybacking off Spaghetti, is let kids stand as a statement for the peace in that time era. And I think that does a good enough job of showcasing that what I believe was trying to be conveyed. I don't know that the parents being a companion piece really gives it enough. And I think, otherwise it's like if you are a fan of Harmony Korine and it's like you want to, from that aspect, watch it because it has the elements, it has the flavoring of him and his style. But beyond that, it's like, you could like take it or leave it. If this film didn't exist, I don't think it would be sorely missed in terms of in the canon of Korine, and I guess to a lesser extent, if you're gonna watch a Larry Clark movie, watch Bully. I think it's much better, So that's kind of my feeling on it.
Sippy? That's not a word. What's a sippy?
Adam, do you recommend Ken Park?
Some complaints I saw about like the last movie we reviewed, Anomalisa, was why do all art films, or all films with a message have to be about like depressed middle-aged men, usually middle-aged white men? And I think that this movie is, it's unique in the same way that Larry Clark, brings that thing to the table where it's like, okay, no, this is about, teenagers, young adults. This is about like, it's more akin to like a less goofy version of American Pie, where it takes on like such a different take on the medium, where like featuring kids, it just makes it such a more out there movie. And I think if you're looking for a movie that's going to be different, if you're not turned off by sex and quote unquote pornographic images, I think that it's worth a shot, and I'd recommend it. I think that I had a good time. Like I felt bad, I felt sad, and I felt bad, but at the same time, like that's what you're going for in a movie like this. So for sure, I would say check it out for those reasons and all the reasons our guests laid out as well.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hey there, friends. It's me, Dan. I'm here at the podcast. Would I recommend Ken Park? My review of Ken Park on Letterboxd says, not gonna lie, I love this. Lock me up. I enjoyed Ken Park. I think it can live and die on its own. I think you can compare it to Kids, but it'll be unfavorable because Kids is a much better movie where Harmony Korine is literally in the movie. As a Harmony Korine movie, I don't think it's at the top. It's probably near the bottom. For Larry Clark, I don't know, maybe towards the middle. I've only seen Kids in this, so that's all I can do is say it's in the middle so far. I don't want to say it's at the bottom. I haven't seen enough. Maybe Caveman will be worse. But I liked this movie. I liked all the, it's the same thing that I'll play a clip later, but it's just, it's art. It's art for sure. Once I learned everyone was over the age 18, I was like, okay, cool. I've seen enough porn that it's not like an issue. Do I think it's a little bit of like what is it called? The editor, the writer's barely disguised fetish? Do I think he has some negative elements that I question? Yes, and that makes his movies an interesting watch for sure. But I don't know. I recommend it. It's cool. Check it out. If you're living in Harmony, if you've watched every Harmony Korine movie and this is the last one, and you're just like, do I watch Ken Park? I recommend Ken Park. Go check it out. If you can get a copy, because it's banned or not been released. But yeah, check it out. And I don't know if I'll rewatch it, but I might one day. We'll see. Maybe when I watch both, maybe I'll fall in love with Larry Clark. Maybe Larry Clark's gonna be my favorite director. If Larry Clark is your favorite director, I don't know. I don't know.
First, a defiant stand against film censorship tonight.
Adam, did you pick a movie for next week?
Oh boy, did I. Dan, I was juggling whether I want to go into the mind of a serial killer and maybe explore what happens to Tate after he gets out of prison, or if we were going to have good times. But I think I'm going to go with that first one. Let's not stand on ceremony, Dan. I want to watch The Cell.
Look at that, putting us in an awkward position where MJ's going to be like, I don't know if I want to come on for The Cell, but I'll listen. You're muted. I can't hear you.
I'm in. If I'm able, I'll come through.
Yeah, invitation is open for sure.
Invitation open, but yeah, feel free to just listen if you don't want to go 2 times in a week. But yeah, the cell is awesome. I'm excited. We just made it available to everybody, so that's a good choice, Adam. I've at the very least, my eyes will be satiated.
Yeah, but
will my brain be satiated?
I've been wanting to see this. I've been wanting to bring this up on the pod for a while now. So since it came up, I'm just like, you know what? Like that's fucking serendipity.
How many? Not to go into it, but how many people have and haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I saw it as a little kid, like we were talking about earlier. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting.
Movie theater.
Nice.
Cool. I watched it last year, I think, and I obviously watched it earlier. But yeah, holds up. That's all I'll say. So.
I heard like a recent thing that on Twitter where they're like, if you're old enough, you could just be like, yeah, I saw that on 35 millimeter, just because like everything was shown on that back then. Like I saw Electra on 35 millimeter.
It's like that's how it's like the passing of the torch is like how you know you're old.
Those signs are becoming more and more frequent, unfortunately.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right. I'm really glad you guys came on. This was a packed episode. I tried to direct best I could, but I just let it run. I just let you guys talk. I let you guys ramble on, and hopefully we'll create the perfect Ken Park episode.
This is a mirror for the movie.
This is an anthology here, or a character. What would you call this? Ensemble.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that this will probably be the most in-depth Ken Park thing that's not just negative and being like, I'm better than this movie. I don't know.
This is the definitive Ken Park podcast.
It is. Yeah, too bad it's a podcast. We need to start releasing these on video. So everyone see our beautiful faces. Everyone gets scared. Like, oh no.
Crap, next pod.
But yeah, thanks for joining us, MJ. Been a long time for you and Spaghetti, so just glad to have you back on. Always part of the family, always welcome on.
It's good to be here.
Spaghetti, you now got access to our stuff, so
yeah.
Everyone hop on. You don't have the movie, you got it.
Yeah, I remember when we did Julie and Donkey Boy, I had to go find an old DVD on eBay for like stupid amounts of money, which I wanted to own it anyway, so it was all cool.
That's a good listen. Go listen to that episode.
Yeah. Go listen to all of our episodes. And reiterating, please join the Discord. Give us 5 stars, whatever platform you're listening to this on. Give us a rating. Give us a review. We love seeing it. It helps us out. And promotion. Adam, do you have anything beautiful to say to our wonderful audience to lead us out? These stormy seas.
Weather's getting better. Let's all go outside more. Go experience some nature. That's how I feel after watching this film. I'm like, we need to go outside and get some nature.
Go skateboarding.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't so old. I would go skateboarding. I would learn how. I think I would kill myself though. I watched some skateboard videos. I was doing that this morning to get in the vibe, to get the mindset. So
sweet.
Eat a brisket together as a family.
I just had brisket last night for dinner. It was funny. we were over at a friend's, and he smoked a massive 15-pound brisket. It was awesome.
Ooh, that sounds good.
They'll put a hair on your chest. Eat a brisket.
Put hair on my chest, I tell you.
You have no boundaries. You never say to yourself, I go too far.
Well, yeah. That's funny. I do. I look. I say, man, maybe you've gone too far. I always think I've gone too far, but as an artist, I don't think in those terms. I mean, I come from the art world, so you make work and you show work, and in the art world, it's fine. But this is different, and when you're making film, you're reaching such a bigger audience, and you're reaching the public, and there's all these rules. But as an artist, I don't think in terms of rules. I never think about what you can't do, you know, what you're not supposed to do. I mean, I just, you know, do it. You know, this is a film that has an emotional honesty, and it has a visual honesty. And if you're making a film that has emotional and visual honesty, and then you come to scenes and you turn the camera away or go to close-up or shut the door, then you're not being honest. And I wanted this film to be totally honest. And if some scenes are startling, that's just the way it is. You know, I mean, I'm not trying to. I'm truthfully not doing things to shock. I'm doing things. I'm telling stories that I think need to be told, that aren't told, that you read about in the paper every day, that you know people that this happens to. Especially today in the information age, everybody knows everything. You know, we know this is going on.